What up, what up? Welcome to my channel where we're doing music covers, original music, album reviews, song reviews, reactions, tier lists, whatever the day calls for. If you like what you see here, please subscribe to the channel. If you have content on here, I will subscribe to you as well. I am all about supporting up-and-comers on here. There are certain bands that I have covered on this channel and have talked about on this channel where I have said that they're such a big deal to me that if they release something new and I don't have the time really when they release it to get to it, I'll find time to get to it. But in the case of Intervals releasing their first new song in 3 years on Friday, Mnemonic, the time just wasn't there for me, man. It's been a very busy time. And I'm not going to lie, the time really isn't here right now either, but I love Aaron Marshall's work and Intervals so much and have been a fan of this project since his very first release, The Space Between. And I grew so attached to the lineup that he had from that point up until The Shape of Color, where he became just kind of like a solo artist only with Intervals, that I was a little bit disappointed when that was the direction it was going to go. And let me go back a little bit with that. In Time is such an amazing piece of music where it really shows how in a sea of progressive, genty kind of artists that really rely on polyrhythms and melodic leads and stuff, like he really stands out from the pack when it comes to his songwriting, because every single second of the In Time EP is ingrained in my memory. And then they brought a vocalist in for the following release, A Voice Within. Again, every song, every riff, every vocal line, everything is just super memorable. And I actually was fortunate enough to see Intervals when they had their vocalist live. It was with The Contortionist, who was coming right off the heels of their best release ever, Language, and Periphery. After that, Aaron Marshall and these other bandmates that he had parted ways. And I was kind of disappointed by that. Aside from the personnel change, there was going to be a sound change. Less distorted guitars, no more down tuning, standard tuning, more jazz, less gent, less metal. It would have been easy to feel disappointed by what he followed that up with, The Shape of Color, but it was honestly better than A Voice Within. Like, incredible, man. One of my favorite Intervals songs of all time, Fable, is on this record. The only Intervals release I would consider kind of weak is the one they followed that up with, The Way Forward. It was kind of like the same album, but in a less interesting fashion. And, you know, it wasn't terrible. I don't think this dude could write terrible music if he tried. He followed that one up in 2020 with Circadian, and it was such an amazing album that I got it on vinyl. It's been a minute since I've listened to it, but I mean, the opener, 5-HTP, Vanta Black, Lunatic, top track, Signal Hill. I actually tried to do a couple of the riffs off that on my channel, and yeah, like there are Intervals songs where I've learned like some riffs or some leads, but an entire song, forget about it. The song Dose features Saxel Rose, I believe, as a guest. So coming off of that release, I'm not going to lie, expectations are kind of high here. But I'm just glad that Intervals as a project is still going. This is the first new song in 3 years. My mind is open. I'm ready for anything, so let's get into this. It's been a good minute since I've had anything outside of just the music itself to enhance the experience for me, you know? Like, I smoke weed every now and then, but it's been a good minute. I've been mostly on the straight and narrow as of late. But I'm feeling, for this one, let's do a little bit of cheap gas station beer with this thing. Let's go. So I know what you're thinking, why? Why did I keep looking towards the camera during this video? I kept thinking that my cat was going to topple over the setup that I had. Here's the culprit right here, Nugget. Look at this guy. He's 15 years old. I've had him since 2009. I'm his only owner. And he's been here for so many chapters of my life that I can't even name them all. Great guy right here. There are some really cool parts here. And the parts that grabbed me the most on this one was the parts where the bass guitar popped and was more in the forefront. I'm going to give this song a 7.5 out of 10. It needs a lot of growing room. Whereas the songs on Circadian didn't really need any growing room. It does kind of sound like a song where it's a little bit difficult to differentiate it from the rest of the pack, which is the problem that I kind of have with The Way Forward. But I would put this above all of the songs on The Way Forward, but at this point, under all the songs on Circadian. And from what I've read, I think this does follow some kind of upcoming album. And I'm very much looking forward to hearing it. Like, Aaron Marshall is one of my favorite songwriters. Even though this song didn't grab me right away, it might in the future. And that's the thing with like his compositions, is some of them grab you right away. Some of them, it takes a little bit. So, you know, I'm doing a 7.5 out of 10 right now, but that's just right now. I mean, so I'm going to wrap it up here. But before I do, let's just do what I think is my top 10 interval songs right on the fly. I did this with one of my past videos recently. Just let's name the top 10 songs right off the fly. I'm going to do it right now. Let's see. Signal Hill is the first one that comes to mind right now. Such an amazing song. Epiphany. I've learned several parts of that song, but learning it as a whole, forget about it, man. Let's do one off of the Voice Within. The one with the vocals. What's the second track called? Moment Marauder. Real good one. I'm Awake. Immediately comes to mind. That's number 7. Number 6. Alchemy. What an intro. From the view of the production on Alchemy. Once that first solo begins, the way they produce the polyrhythms, the chugs underneath it, you should listen to it, man. I think that album came out in like 2011, 2012. For its time, even now, those polyrhythms just pummel, dude. Dose. Number 5. Let's do the rest we're gonna do from this album. Lunatic. Number 5. Number 4. Let's do some more off. What is the third track on Voice Within? It really sounds like Periphery. I can't remember it. Give me a minute. I got it. Automaton. Automaton. I had to look that one up. We're on what? Number 4? All right. Number 3. The opener of that album. Ephemeral. Number 2. Fable. Number 1. Oh, man. I want to do something off The Shape of Color. 4th track. Gotta look it up again. Give me a minute. Sweet Tooth. That's the one I'm thinking of. I'm really not one of those people that kind of latch on to too many instrumental groups. Like, I always recognize and admire their talents, but there's only really a few where their songwriting is memorable enough to bring me in. Like, you got Intervals, of course. I Built the Sky, Chon, one more, Polyphia. And they're not even always instrumental, but I don't know. I probably put Intervals above all of those, just because the songs are just so damn good, man. Whatever is done next will definitely be covered here. So until next time, thanks for watching.